Morning Year 5, I hope you enjoyed your long weekend. Today we're starting our fluency with the multiplication practice on Purple Match, so please feel free to pause the video and go and have a go at that now to get your brains warmed up, or as ever you can do it at the end. First of all, I'm going to go through Thursday's challenge. So Thursday's challenge was Tommy, who had put some numbers into ascending order, so that means from smallest to biggest. Now hopefully you'll notice that there's two different ways that they're represented, in decimal form and in fractions. So the first thing that I would have liked to have done is to turn them all into decimals. So you should have had 3.015, 3.051, 3.105 and 3.51. Then they're in order, and then it says that he put some numbers in the middle. So your numbers should have been between 3.051, so bigger than that, but smaller than 3.105. So you could have worked systematically, so you would have started with 3.052 and then gone on and on and on, right up until 3.104. There was lots of solutions for that. We're starting off today thinking about adding and subtracting decimals. Now the first ones that I want you to do mentally. So we want to do this thinking about our number bonds. So think about we've only got tenths, so whole numbers and tenths. Think about how many tenths make up our whole. So we know that 10 tenths. So think about your number bonds to 10 for these. So for example, if we've got 1.4 plus 0.6, well, I can recognise that 4 tenths and 6 tenths is a whole, because that's my number bonds. And so one whole and my other whole gives me 2 or 2.0. Okay, so I want you to do these nice and quickly. I want you to pause the video and do them in your head. No written calculations. Off you go. Okay, let's go through some answers. So 2.4 plus 0.6, we've got the 6 and the 4 again making the whole, plus our 2 wholes gives you 3. 3.2, 2 tenths and 8 tenths gives you the whole, so this one should be 4. 4.6 plus 1.4, so we've got two things to do here. Add our tenths is a whole, add another whole, 2 wholes, add our 4 wholes gives you 6. The next one, 5.3 plus 2.7, 7 tenths and 3 tenths is a whole, plus our 2 wholes and our 5 gives us 8. And then this one's a bit more tricky, so we've got 1 whole, 1 tenth and 9 tenths giving a whole, but then we've also got 6 and 4. So there's 1 whole plus 10, so this one is actually 11. So hopefully you got those. We're now going to look at some trickier sums, so the ones that involve in hundredths for our decimals, and where it requires us to do a written calculation. So for this I'm going to do column addition, which we should all be familiar with. Now you'll notice, so my question is 23.44 plus 16.82. You'll notice that I've written out my place value to help me. Okay, so I've lined up all of my place value accurately. And already I have added in my decimal point. That decimal point doesn't move. Okay, now with any other addition, we're going to start with our smallest value in case we have to exchange. So our smallest value here is hundredths. So 4 hundredths add 2 hundredths gives us 6 hundredths. Then to our tenths, 4 tenths add 8 tenths. Well, that gives us 12 tenths. So if we were to write that as a fraction, it's an improper fraction. I can't fit all of my tenths in there. So I'm going to exchange my 10 tenths for 1 whole. So it doesn't matter where you carry it. You can carry it here, up here, or up here, as long as you know what that represents. So that 1 there represents 10 tenths, the same as 1 whole. And I'll have left 2 tenths. So they go in my tenths column. Now add in 6 ones, add 3 ones. 9 ones, add my 1 more, so that gives me 10 ones. Again, I can't fit them all in there, so I'm going to put a placeholder and I carry on my 10 ones and I'm exchanging it for 1 10. Now I've got 2 10s, add 1 10, add another 10. So it gives us 4 10s. So my answer is 40.26. Okay, now time to pause the video and I want you to have a go at exactly what I've just done. So your calculation is 46.230 plus 26.91. So set it out as I did and then give me your answer and we'll go through it. Okay, so hopefully you set out your place value grid first and then rotate your numbers, be making sure to get them in the correct place and lining them up. So first of all, we start in our smallest value, which is the hundredths. So we should have 3 hundredths plus 1 hundredth. I added the 0 just as a bit of a curveball. It has no value. So that gives us 4 hundredths. Then moving on to our tenths, we've got 9 tenths plus 2 tenths gives us 11 tenths. We need to exchange one of those for one whole. So we've got 1 left over in our tenths. Then 6 plus 6 units gives us 12, plus the 1 we've just added gives us 13. So I've put 3 of my 1s and I've exchanged the 10 ones for 1 tenth. Plus our 4 tenths, 2 tenths and 1 tenth gives us 7. So your answer should have been 73.14. Okay, moving on to subtraction now. I've written some sums on the board, and again I want you to start off by doing these mentally. Think back to those number bonds. What do you know already that means you can do these in your head? Please try not to write them down. Okay, let's go through them. So we've got 1 whole takeaway, 0.5 or 5 tenths. So hopefully we'll recognise this as a half. 5 tenths and 5 tenths gives us a whole, so 0.5 is your answer. 2 subtract 1.6, so take away your whole, you got 1 left. Take away your 6 tenths, gives us 4 tenths left, 0.4. 3.2 take away 1.1, so we know it's going to end in 0.1. 2 tenths take away 1 tenth, 3 wholes take away 1 is 2. 4 take away 2.4, you can make this 4.0 if it's easier. So 4 take away 2 gives us 2. Then we need to take away our 0.4. So thinking about our number bonds, we've got 6 left, 1.6. Then for the last one, 5.6 take away 3.5. 6 tenths take away 5 tenths gives us 1 tenth left. 5 take away 3 gives us 2. So your answer should be 2.1. Well done if you got those. Okay, moving on again to some more complex subtraction that requires us to do a written column method of subtraction this time. So our calculation is 54.32, subtract, take away 16.52. Now the same as last time, I've got my place value grid to help me. Now for subtraction, we need to remember that our largest number, let's check, is what we're taking away from. So that needs to go first in my column. So I've got 54, 5 tenths, 4 ones. Decimal point must go in, 3 tenths, 2 hundredths. Now I'm going to make sure I line up my smaller number. So 16, which is 1 tenth, 1 unit, decimal point, 5 tenths and 2 hundredths. Okay? So, same as addition, we're going to start with our smallest value, which is our hundredths. So 2 hundredths take away 2 hundredths, that's easy, gives us nothing left. Now I've got 3 tenths and I need to take away 5. I can't do that, haven't got enough, so I need to exchange. So I'm going to go to my units column, and my ones, and at the moment I've got 4 ones. So I'm going to get rid of one of those ones, so I'll have 3 ones left. And I'm going to exchange my ones, my one single one, for 10 tenths, because 10 tenths is the same as 1 whole. So now I've written 10 there, you can see, just to make this clear. So 10 tenths plus my 3 tenths gives us 13 tenths. So now I do 13 tenths, take away 5 tenths. Okay, so we've done that exchanging process. So I'm left with 8 tenths there. Okay, now let's move on to our ones or our units. I've got 3 ones, take away 6 ones. Again, I can't do this, I haven't got enough. So now I need to go to my tens column. I'm going to get rid of one of those tens, and now I've got 4 tens left. And I'm going to exchange my 1 10 for 10 ones. So now I've got 13 ones, 10 ones and 3 ones, 13 ones, take away 6 ones, which gives me 7 ones. Okay? Now in my tens column, I've got 4 tens, take away 1 10, which gives me 3 tens. So our answer should be 37.80. Your turn to pause the video again and have a go at this subtraction on your own. So 31.64, subtract, take away 12.82. Okay, remember to set it out correctly and think about all the things that we've just done. Okay, same as before, so we should have our place value set out above the top and then writing in our biggest number first, so 31.64, and then underneath 12.82, making sure we line up that decimal point. Starting with our smallest value in the hundredths, we've got 400ths take away 200ths, gives us 200ths left. Then in our tenths, 6/10 take away 8/10 we can't do. So we go to our ones column, we exchange that one whole for 10 ones. So now I've got 16 tenths take away 8/10 gives us 8/10 left. Then in our ones column, we haven't got any left, so we go to our tens and we exchange our 1/10 for 10 ones. So we've got 10 ones take away 2 ones gives us 8 ones. Now we've got 2 tens take away 1 10 gives us 1 10 left. So our final answer should be 18.82. Well done if you got that. Okay, that's it from me. Your task today is on Purple Mash and it is some word problems to do with addition and subtraction of decimals. Now to help you, because they are word problems, you need to read them really, really carefully. So if you've got a word problem that asks you that you've got something that is X amount and the other thing is this much more than, even though it's got more than, you need to find the difference, so you need to subtract. If one is longer than the other and you need to find out how much longer is it, again you're subtracting. It's all about finding the difference. Okay, so read it carefully. You might see the word remains as well, which just means what's left. So that's another clue for something that you need to subtract. Now, other word problems, so you've got things like they buy this and this, how much did they spend all together? The and the total gives you a clue that you need to add for those questions. So look out for those keywords. I'd like you to see you on a scrap piece of paper, do your working out before you put it into Purple Mash. Read carefully, do your working out, and you'll be fine. Good luck, let me know if you have any problems. I can't wait to see the work that you complete. Now, I haven't put a challenge on today, so I've got some high expectations for that Purple Mash work, and if you're not getting good enough scores, then we are going to make you do it again. Okay, so take your time, read through it carefully. See you tomorrow.